Hi Social Cam fam, I just want to share a quick story with you today. Today is a very, very special day for me. Today is a day that I will always thank God for every year when it comes around. In fact, every day of my life I will thank God for what he's done. Over 12 years ago, I was taken into hospital to have an operation on my leg. I had a condition called osteomyelitis, and the bone, it got into the bone in my leg, so I needed to go into hospital to have surgery to remove the disease that was in the bone. 4 weeks after coming out of hospital, I developed a severe infection in that bone. I was taken back into hospital and told that I would have to be on 6 weeks worth of powerful, potent antibiotics, which had to be administered through a tube that was going to be put into my chest. Before I started on the course of antibiotics, for some strange reason, the nurse said to me, could there any chance you could be pregnant? And at the time I just laughed and I said, well, I don't think so, because years ago I was told that I couldn't have children or it'd be difficult to conceive because I'd had previous medical problems when I was younger. Anyway, took the pregnancy test, and to my shock horror, I was pregnant. Bad timing, but not, God's timing is perfect. So anyway, I thank God for that nurse, put it that way, because if it wasn't for her, I never would have known. And the drugs they put me on are known to cause miscarriage. So I just thank God for that nurse. They changed all the medication. I went home, got better. And then 4 months into the pregnancy, I become really, really ill again. Got rushed back into hospital, only to be told this time that a condition that I had 8 years previous to being pregnant had developed with a vengeance. This was a condition that nearly took my life when I was 19, but I pulled through, and I'm still here today to tell the story. I had a condition called ulcerative colitis, bowel disease. Now, when I was pregnant, it came back with a vengeance. When I was in hospital, they done some tests, and I was told that my bowel was about to perforate. So, but my thoughts were not even on that. My thoughts were on what's going to happen to the baby that I'm carrying, what's going to happen to my baby. Anyway, the surgeon was called back off his holiday, had a chat with me, and I asked him what would happen if I don't have this surgery. And he said to me, if you don't have the surgery, then you're going to die, unfortunately. And if you do have the surgery, we can't save the baby because of the extent of the surgery. But for some reason, I just had this hope that I wasn't going to give up, And obviously, it was a miracle that I was pregnant. So in my eyes, I knew that there was a purpose in all of this. And I wasn't saved at the time. Let me just let you know, my life was messed up at the time. Being pregnant at that time was probably not the best thing I could have done, but like I said, God's timing is perfect, and God has a plan and a purpose for everything. So at that time, I had a chat with God. I didn't really know if this God was real. I didn't know if this God really existed, but I said to him, God, if you're real, I need you right now. I need you to take my life and save this baby, because I knew with all the, what they do now in the hospitals, they could have saved the baby, but I was willing to just let him take me and save this baby's life, because I just felt like at the time that there was nothing left for me. I just felt like I had no hope. I had nothing. So I knew that my mum and dad and my family could offer this baby a better life, So anyway, sorry, I get all emotional when I talk about this, because I just thank God for where he's brought me from. Anyway, had the surgery, was in intensive care for a number of weeks. During that time, I asked for the midwife to come and listen for the heartbeat, to see if there was a heartbeat, because I still had hope that this baby survived, even though all the doctors and the nurses were quite skeptical. Anyway, they come round with a stethoscope. The whole bed was surrounded by doctors, medical professionals, students, and everyone was looking at me with fear, like, oh no, what's going to happen? We know that there's not a heartbeat. But to their surprise, we heard a heartbeat, a strong, healthy heartbeat. It was a miracle. It was an absolute miracle. Anyway, there was a lot of complications between then and the rest of the pregnancy, but at 7 months, the hospital decided to give me a cesarean. And yes, I had a strong, healthy, 3 pound 12 little girl whose name is Liyah. And today it's her birthday, and I just thank God for Liyah. I thank God for her life. I thank God that she pulled through. I thank God that he saved her. After she was born, 6 weeks after she was born, you know, that the enemy still tried, and I ended up rushed back into hospital. I collapsed in my mum's house with septicemia, blood poisoning. I was told afterwards, after I recovered, that the hospital had prepared my family for the worst, because my body had been through so much trauma with all the surgery, with everything else that had happened, that they didn't think I was going to pull through. But I had a fight inside of me. I had this fight because I knew I had a little girl to go home to, and she was not going to be brought up without a mummy. Anyway, you know, I got better, and over the years we've had a lot of trials, and Leah's been a blessing to me. You know, Mum used to take Leah to Sunday school, and you know, it was Leah that told me about Jesus. It's Leah that used to come home when I was sitting here smoking drugs and drinking and doing all the other rubbish that I was doing, that used to say, Mummy, Jesus really doesn't like that. You know, God has used her so powerfully, and I know that he's going to continue to use her to touch the hearts of people. You know, she's taught me kindness. She's taught me how to love. She's taught me how to forgive. And I thank God that through her, you know, so much has happened in our lives, you know, and God's blessing her now. She's 12 today, and I thank God that 12 is a number of establishment. And I said to Leah today, Leah, this is the year that God is going to establish you. Everything the enemy planned for destruction, God is going to turn it around for good in your life. God has blessed her with a private school now, and I just know that this year God is going to answer all her prayers and give her the desires of her heart. She's so in love with Jesus. She's remained so faithful to God at such a young age, and I thank God for her future and her destiny, because I know it's great and I know it's bright. And you know, all of you that have just heard this story, please, you know, take inspiration from this, because you know, God is real, and he proved himself to me, and he's proved himself to me on a number of occasions, more than I can even count, you know. And this is just a snippet of my testimony. This is just a snippet of my story, you know. But I thank God. I thank God for everything he's doing and everything he's done and everything that he's going to continue to do. You know, Social Cam fam, I love you all. You take care. Have a blessed day. Bye.